Hello, this is Chuck Ridgway, Automation Technology Manager at Horner. Thanks for joining us for another Tuesday live stream. But not just another Tuesday live stream, we are here live from the IMTS show in Chicago, Illinois, here at McCormick Place. Now, IMTS stands for the International Machine Tool Show, and this is a truly international, truly large event. We go to several trade shows, exhibit at a lot of them as well here at McCormick Place. This is one of the few where they actually use all 4 exhibit halls for the show. So north, south, east, and west, all full. 100,000 people will visit the show over the course of nearly a week. The show runs from Monday through Saturday, and today is Tuesday. So we've got a lot planned for you today, but before I dive into what our agenda is, I want to just give a shout out to the folks behind the scenes. So Emily Tedder, our multi-talented, your official title, I believe, is Social Media Manager, right? Marketing Coordinator. Well, you're also the Social Media Manager. You're also my lead editor. You do a lot, like a lot of people at Horner, you wear a lot of hats. And then also, a little harder to see, but also here is Marcy Tyree, our marketing guru. You can just see the tips of her fingers there. Just like a lot of folks at Horner, she's a little height challenged, but that's okay. She has lots of capability in other areas. Why waste it on height? Okay, so I just want to give a little shout out to those guys. Let's go through the agenda, what we have planned for you today. We're going to give you various tours of the booth. Now, we've got a nice, good size 10 by 20 booth here at IMTS. So we'll give you different parts of the booth at different parts of our program today to show you what products we're showing, what products are on the way. We're going to have plenty of conversations with the Horner team. We've got lots of Horner folks today. We're going to give you some conversations, some people that you've talked to but you haven't met, so you'll like that. And then we've got our XL15 Prime launch, the latest Horner product that is available, not coming, but fully available. So that's what we have planned. All right, so before we dive into today's agenda, we're going to show you a short video of footage from the beautiful city of Chicago that Emily took over the weekend, just to give you a flavor of Chicago in the late summer and early fall. Just a short 1-minute video. Let's check it out. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one section of our booth over here. So I want to show you our solutions section. Okay, so what we have here on the solution side of things is we have our OEE box. Now, OEE stands for Equipment Effectiveness, Overall Equipment Effectiveness. And this is a tool that we've created to make it easy for manufacturers, whether they're fully automated or not, to very easily be able to add a fairly sophisticated OEE program to their company very easily, quickly, and inexpensively. So this is a solution ready to go, no Cscape required. Also in our solutions section, we're showing off our digital chart recorder, okay? And the digital chart recorder is really designed to replace paper chart recorders. All right, so it has 4 channels of analog inputs that can be scaled and graphed and logged. Again, the whole idea is to replace those digital chart recorders. So that's what we've got going on here from a solutions standpoint. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be having a conversation with a couple of our key managers here. So let's call them up here. Mr. Phil Horner. Okay. All right, and Chris Miltenberger, come on up here.
Hi, Chuck.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Little microphone issues.
Are we close enough? Are we close?
I think we're close enough. All right, so Chris is new to Horner.
I am.
So this guy is not.
Yeah.
He started out by, sweeping in his dad's motor shop way back in the day. So we'll start with the new guy.
Yeah, so Chuck, I've been around since March. I'm very honored to join a team steeped in innovation, new product development,
right,
solutions, customer responsiveness. I hope to be able to help the organization improve upon that, but I'm very excited to join this team. So.
And when I introduced you, I didn't do a good job of introducing you with your title. So what is your title at Horner?
So my name's Chris Miltenberger, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer.
Okay, awesome. Fantastic. Terrific.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a background in specifically the manufacture of automation, but I do have a long storied history in terms of purchasing automation, integration of automation, the use of automation products. So I feel my background aligns very well with the automation.
Yeah, I mean, you're really familiar with the automation business for sure.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, Phil, what I want
So before we get started, this is my replacement. You notice I started that when I started the business, I was that tall.
Yeah, things do change. You tend to do get shorter. I've been working here 35 years. I was actually 6'9" when I started. Right. But that's okay. Right. And you'll be 6 feet by the end of the year. Anyway, back to this guy. What I wanted to ask you about is kind of looking a little bit forward over the next few months. What are you excited about in terms of the direction we're going, really in the fairly short term?
Well, I tell you what I'm getting excited about is this OCS fabric that we've been working on for a few years, and it's really about the connectivity from the factory floor all the way up to give you all the information that you need. Hey, friends out there, I have missed seeing you so much, so now you can see me.
And boy, did you just see him. All right, very good. Okay, well, that is exciting stuff. And I want to thank both of you guys for just a couple minutes.
Yeah, great.
And look forward to working with you for the next 35 years of my career.
Thank you. Good job.
All right, take care. Take care. See ya. Okay, so the XL15 Prime. It's our latest OCS All-in-One Controller. It has a 15-inch screen, XGA, and this is the successor to the XL15 Plus. So the XL15 Plus was the only product we couldn't ship during COVID, and that's because it was manufactured using a system-on module circuit board that we didn't manufacture. We manufactured the entire product but that one part, and we couldn't ship it during the supply chain crisis. So we said that's not going to work for us at Horner, so we designed our own system-on module for the XL15 Prime, and it's replacing the XL15 Plus. So that's the big deal about that, and this product is manufactured in Indianapolis. Okay, as we take a look at the next slide and the next bit of information on the XL15 Prime, it has an all-new mechanical design. So even though it looks very similar, it has a thinner and more squared off bezel. It does have the same panel cutout as the XL15 Plus. So if you're using it with retrofits like a lot of people did with the XL15 Plus, you can use it to replace much smaller touchscreens if you want to, whether they're made from Horner or not. When you're mounting the product, you use mounting clips only is all you need to use if you have a non-washdown application, and if you are using the product in a washdown application, you just use the optional studs that are included in the installation kit, and you're good to go. All right, so the next thing when it comes to the XL15 Prime is the I/O. So because it's part of the XL Prime series, you have your choice of the normal XL model I/O when you order the product. So as you can see there on the screen, you've got the Model 0 with no built-in I/O all the way through the Model 6. So you have your choice of which I/O product you want to have built into the product from the factory. So you just order it with the part number that specifies the I/O. So it's not something you add on in the field, it's something you specify when you order it. Okay, so next with the XL15 Prime, I want to talk about connectivity. So like our higher end XL Prime products, it has dual Ethernet ports with all the most common industrial protocols supported. You can license it for MQTT Spark Plug and WebMI, which is a one-time field upgrade, okay? It has dual CAN ports supporting C-Scan, Can Open, as well as J1939. And then it also has USB-C, serial ports, and an audio output port. Because it's a new product, it features USB-C instead of USB Mini B. So that's a upgrade that we've done to any new product that we release moving forward. And then of course it supports micro SD and USB thumb drives, and if you want to add Wi-Fi to the product, you can use our USB to Wi-Fi adapter to make that happen. Okay, when it comes to availability, it's available for immediate order now. It's priced starting at $39.99 with a lead time of 2 to 6 weeks. And there's the full part numbers on the screen there, including the I/O that you want built into the unit based on that part number. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is show you the XL15 Prime that we have here. We've got the unit right here. So you probably can notice it's more squared off than the XL15 Plus was. So it's still got that large 15-inch screen with the XGA resolution. So it gives you lots of room to fit trends, lots of data on the screen, large illustrations, whatever it is you need. That extra size really comes in handy. Okay, so that is the XL15 Prime. Next, I'm going to have a conversation here with my colleague, Mr. Tom Filipek.
Hey Chuck, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. So
how's the show going so far?
The show's doing great. For those of you, you've been around forever.
I have.
But for those of you, or those of our viewers who aren't familiar with Tom, why don't you kind of introduce yourself?
So I've been in and out of the Horner picture from back in the original days when it was a concept. OCS, was this a good idea when we put a PLC, an HMI, I/O network all in one box? Do you think we can sell this in the general purpose market? And I think, you know, over the years it's graduated, it's become what it is today, which is a very cool product. And you know, I've been doing Cscape programming for that whole time, and you know, all of a sudden we went from this 9-point something service pack something to, hey, we're going to release Cscape 10.
Right.
And I went, long-time Cscape guy, I wasn't sure this was going to be a great thing.
Yeah, so as a long-time Cscape guy, you know, really, there weren't significant user interface changes from the time Cscape first came out until Cscape 10. I mean, we made a lot of improvements, but the user interface was pretty similar. It didn't really change. So how has the adjustment been with Cscape 10?
So yeah, like I said, when it first was coming out, I was, as a longtime user, I went, boy, I'm not sure I'm going to like this change, because changes always change, and it's never super easy.
Sure.
But with that said, you know, I went through the first couple beta versions, and thank God we did a bunch of beta, because we fixed a lot of this stuff before our customers had to see some of it. And that was, it's been really good that way. But I've had about a month and a half, 2 months now on the release Cscape 10.
Right.
And I got to say that my opinion has changed a lot.
Okay.
Not only on Cscape 10, but also the tag base.
Right.
Or variable based.
Right.
You know, I'm an address based guy, because that's where Cscape started, that's where Horner started, and I was used to that. Mm-hmm. And so when we went variable based, it's like, oh, this is more like Allen Bradley. Why do we need to make it? You're going to have to change again. But once again, after now using it a little bit, I've decided that I'm going to change my opinion, and I think most of our customers will.
Right.
Spend a little time with Cscape 10, spend a little time with the variable based.
Right.
I think you'll like it in the long run, and it's been good that way.
Exactly. And to be clear, we're not getting rid of register-based Cscape. That'll always be an option for your programs. There's just so many features that you can't get with a register-based approach. No user-defined function blocks, none of those sorts of things that can really make your job a lot more, make your work a lot more efficient in the end. All right, well, thanks, Tom. I really appreciate you joining me today.
Have a great show the rest of the day.
All right, exactly. He's been one of my colleagues here working the show floor with me. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of the other side of the show floor. So let me move over there now. Okay, so let's start with the rack we have over here. All right, so what we have here at the top is we have Canvas. All right, so we've got the Canvas 4, the Canvas 7D, and the Canvas 10D. Now these products are just 3 of the 5 different models available with Canvas. The big thing they feature is a dual-core microprocessor and greatly enhanced greatly enhanced graphics. So if you have missed our Summer of Cscape series, where we focused a lot on Cscape 10, which Tom and I talked about, as well as the Canvas series, I'd encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and check those things out. Down here, of course, is the XL15 Prime, which I just highlighted a few minutes ago. And then even though it's pretty low here on the rack, it's not low in priority, that is the Micro series. So the Micro series continues to be our highest volume selling OCS series, with our 4-inch, 7-inch, and 10-inch models highlighted today. And if you're interested in, well, what's the difference between those two, we're going to be doing a short video series comparing our product lines, how they differ, and maybe what you might want to use for your application. But the Micros are our entry level, the Prime series, not just the 15-inch, the Prime series is our mid-level, and the Canvas is our top level product. Now, in terms of products that aren't released yet, that is really this area down here. You know, trade shows are good for highlighting products that are in development. And these products should be released fairly early next year. And first of all, let me start with a release product, and that is all the OCS I/O modules you see here, or a vast majority of them, are already available. The OCS I/O bases that have built-in I/O or that don't have built-in I/O, those are already available. A vast majority of these OCS I/O modules are also available. But what's new and in development are these two CPUs, okay? We've got a CPU 250, which is analogous to a micro OCS. It has the same processing power as a micro OCS, except it's in a PLC or a micro PLC, all right? It's got a good complement of I/O built into it, including 8 inputs that are flexible between analog or digital. So if you have a fair amount of analog that you need in an otherwise low-end application, this product will be a powerhouse for that. And if you need more I/O than what's built in, you have the ability to add OCS I/O modules, up to 7 of them, directly to the base. Moving up here, we have the CPU 300. And with the CPU 300, this is a traditional PLC CPU from Horner, all right? It has no built-in I/O. You can add up to 8 local modules, but you can also add another 8 modules that are synchronized with the CPU scan through this yellow OCS I/O port, okay? So you just use a standard Ethernet patch cable between here and another rack of OCS I/O, and you have up to 16 synchronous I/O modules with the scan. And if you need more I/O than that, you can add it via C-scan, the traditional way, using OCS I/O. But the really cool thing about this product is what we call plug-and-play displays. You program the CPU 300 just like any OCS all-in-one controller, but the display, if you choose to use one, is a separate component. So this is what we call a plug-and-play display. It's not an HMI that requires a program or anything like that. It's strictly a touchscreen component that's powered from 24 volts, and all the connections are made through a single cable here at the back. So this is pretty revolutionary. We're going to have a whole variety of plug-and-play displays available for the CPU 300, and ultimately we'll also be supporting displays as well as an option with our CPU 250, or at least a similar model to the CPU 250. And then finally, what I'm showing here is I'm showing a couple of our products, one from the Prime and one from the Canvas series, that are pushing data live at the show to OCS360, which is the Horner cloud service that we'll be launching next year. So you'll be able to do dashboarding, you'll be able to do alarming, you'll be able to do data gathering for AI in the future, or just for analysis and historical purposes. But really, any unit in the Prime series and the Canvas series will have the ability to push data to the OCS360 cloud service, and ultimately, you'll be able to push data from the Micro series as well, but maybe not right at launch. Okay, so that's a look at what's happening here on this side of the booth. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in our tech support manager. Well, no, let's bring in a special guest. Let's bring in a special guest. All right, let's head over here a little closer, AJ.
All right.
Are we good? Are we good, Em? Are we, you're getting us aimed up here? Excellent. Okay, so I'm sure one thing I hear a lot when I travel and talk to customers is that our tech support is top notch. All of our guys get great compliments. We have a great team. And I hear a lot of positive feedback from multiple individuals, but certainly from this guy. So, young man, I'm just going to call you young man for now because people don't know who you are yet. Give us your best answering voice when you answer the phone at Horner on a tech support call.
Well, I do like to be predictably high quality, so I always answer the phone with a, "Hello, my name is AJ Bukovitz with Horner Tech Support. May I ask who's calling?"
Excellent. So if you've called into Horner Tech Support and gotten AJ, you've heard some close variation on that. So AJ, you're from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, I'm from northeast Wisconsin, about city half-hour south of Green Bay, called Appleton.
Appleton, very good. So let me tell you a story about how I met AJ. So I was up in the Appleton area at a tech fair that our distributor up there, Powermation, was holding. And there was a lull in the tech fair because I think some seminars were going on. And a young man came over to my table and he was very interested in what we had there. And he asked a question. He said, "So I'm interested in a career in automation. Does Horner have any openings?" You did ask that, right?
I did, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was working with an integrator at the time, but they are on the way out with the software solutions team. But I really loved it anyway, so I'm like, I got to look for more of this, you know?
Right, more automation type stuff.
Right, exactly.
Awesome.
And yeah, Horner is a perfect fit for that.
Excellent. So I said, "Hey, we've got openings in the tech support department." I said, "We're in Indianapolis. Are you okay with moving?" He said, "Oh, I'm not against that." So we did a phone interview with him. He aced that. He came down for an interview, and that was how many years ago now?
About 6.5.
6.5 years ago. Excellent. So when I was 25, I moved from Michigan down to Indianapolis, and I've been working for Horner ever since. You were 28 when you moved?
Yeah, I was 28.
Exactly. So for me, I love Indiana, but Michigan will be home. Okay. Probably similar for you in Wisconsin, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I do miss the frigid winters. This is true.
That's true. Every time the temperature hovers above about 72, AJ starts complaining. So anyway. All right, so one thing I want to ask you is, what do you think is probably the most common question or common topic you get asked about on the tech support line? What is very common for you to hear?
The most common one is probably from the end users who are less familiar with our products. And it's mostly, how do we upload the program out of the controller so we can put it in the new controller because the old one's dying or on the way out or whatever.
But most of the ones that are being replaced are really old, right?
Right, exactly. Like the OCS200 or whatever.
Right. So one of the benefits that Horner has is even for products that are 25 years old, you can still reuse the intellectual property on our latest product. So that's a big deal. So They need to know from people like AJ, how do I accomplish that? Now, one other thing, if you're an OEM that does business with Horner, realize you have the full control to prevent users from uploading the program as well. So that's only something that can be done if the OEM chooses to allow it to happen. Okay, AJ, thanks for coming aboard.
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. All right, the next person I want to talk to, I believe, is our manager, Mr. Tim Brant. And Tim is talking to a customer right now. So that makes perfect sense as to why he's being delayed. Right over here, Tim. Awesome. He was actually talking to some fine gentlemen. Is he lined up okay? All right, good. So Tim, you're actually talking to some fine gentlemen from Clippard. Clippard is a longtime Horner customer in the Cincinnati area, and you were having a conversation with them. Awesome. Yeah. So Tim, you've been at Horner for how long?
About 24 years.
Okay, so long time. I've been 30 years maybe, or 35 years. I lose track. You're in the 24 range. So your position now is? You're basically tech support manager. There you go. Tim's our tech support manager.
It varies from day to day.
You wear a lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats, exactly. So very good. So one thing I wanted to ask Tim, and one of the reasons I wanted to introduce both Tim and AJ is because even though Tim is involved in training at Horner, whether it's supporting Nate or one of the other trainers or doing the training himself, a lot of our customers haven't met you. So we thought it'd be a great opportunity to get you on screen so they can see what you look like.
This is me.
That's him, exactly. The big question I wanted to ask you today was, how has the Cscape 10 launch gone from a support standpoint?
Sure. The
From support, it's been a really good launch. Anything new, you're a little bit nervous about.
Sure.
So, you know, we were kind of bracing ourselves in tech support for the Cscape 10 release.
Right.
But actually, you know, the feedback that we've gotten on Cscape 10 has been all positive.
Great.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Excellent. So one of the things I just wanted to ask you about, I know you're going to be, in addition to kind of being still very involved with our support team, you're also going to be kind of doing some other projects as well. Anything you want to share with the group? Or
Sure. Yeah. One of the projects that I've taken up here lately is to develop new demo programs for, the Canvas series.
Sure.
So in doing that, you have to use Cscape 10.
Right.
And what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to go for is create some, a demo program that showcases not only the graphics for Canvas units, but also make it a really usable demo program.
Sure. More steeped in kind of real world applications.
Example
maybe.
applications,
Right.
things that people can actually take and use
Right.
with the demo program.
Because not only have you been at Horner for 25 years almost, but you've spent some time in the field with a system integrator installing real systems and programming real systems. So it's not just theoretical for you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been really impressed with so far, as far as the Canvas series,
Right.
You can make those screens look fantastic. The
Right.
tools that we have in Cscape now for Canvas
Right.
and creating your graphics, you really can do anything that your imagination can let you do.
Right.
It's really impressive what we can do with those now.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining me, Tim.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Chuck.
All right. Very good. So I got one more thing I want to show off, and that is just briefly, I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what the OCS360 dashboard looks like. So Marcy, go ahead and fire up the OCS360. Okay, so this is just an example of one of the dashboards that you can create in our future OCS360 cloud service with real-time data being pushed to the cloud from an OCS using MQTT, a special, highly efficient version of MQTT that we're building into the Canvas, the Prime, and in the future also the Micro. So this is a very simple dashboard with just 3 or 4 live data points. But I just wanted to give you a quick look really at what we're talking about when we talk about dashboarding and the OCS360. Thanks for hanging with us today as we've gone through a few glitches here and there, which often happens with live streams. Let me go ahead and just remind you that we have training coming up. We've only got a couple classes left in the 4th quarter, basic in October and advanced in November. And there's always lots of ways to interact with Horner online. Is that our next slide, Marcy? Let's see here. Oh, no, I wanted to remind you first that there's still time for you to join us here at IMTS because it's only Tuesday and the show runs through Saturday. So if you're in the Midwest, consider coming and checking us out at IMTS yet this week. All right, and then if you miss IMTS, we will, or if you're from the South, we'll also be at WEFTech in New Orleans in early October. So check us out there at WEFTech. All right. There's lots of ways to interact with Horner online on our website, at our YouTube channel, on LinkedIn. We'd love to interact with you and be your automation supplier. All right, now next week, we are starting a short 2-part series called What Should I Use? Where we're going to be comparing first the Micro OCS versus the XL Prime, and then we're going to be comparing the XL Prime and Canvas to help point out some of the differences, some of the value propositions for each of the product lines. And for those folks that are looking to choose an OCS for their next machine, we'll help provide you with the information that will allow you to do that. Okay, so that's going to be it here from the show floor, courtesy of a few glitches. But until we talk again, which will be next week when we go through that What Should I Use series, this is Chuck Ridgway signing off. Let's all get out there and automate something.